Mamie Eisenhower, the pink-clad First Lady with the signature bangs and smile that captivated 1950s America. But behind that flawless image hid whispers of alcohol, a husband's wartime affair, petty revenge, and hidden power. Ready to discover the real price she paid to keep up appearances? Alcoholism rumors, fueled by a secret illness. Mamie fought Meniere's disease her entire life, a brutal inner ear disorder that triggered violent vertigo, nausea, and complete loss of balance. Diagnosed during World War II, the attacks were so severe she had to crawl across her own house on all fours just to reach the kitchen, leaving her covered in bruises from constant falls. In her 1973 interview with Barbara Walters, she confessed, "I was black and blue just from walking around my own house." On top of that, rheumatic fever at age 7 permanently damaged a heart valve, causing lifelong fatigue and weakness. During the war, she lost 20 pounds from stress, seeing Ike only once in 3 years. In Washington, her unsteady walk sparked vicious gossip about alcoholism, rumors that exploded onto the cover of the National Enquirer on June 7, 1959, with the screaming headline, "First Lady in the Bottle." No evidence ever existed. Mamie volunteered anonymously for the Red Cross and United Service organizations, pouring coffee for soldiers and even for Eleanor Roosevelt without ever revealing her identity. White House Chief Usher J.B. West called her the steel spine for her endurance. Do you believe it was just cruel gossip? Or was there any truth to the whispers? Her husband and his wartime girlfriend, Kay Summersby. 3 years of separation during World War II. Mamie lived alone in the Wardman Park Hotel, answering thousands of letters begging for favors for soldiers. Meanwhile, Ike took up with a 26-year-old Irish driver, Kay Summersby, his personal chauffeur in London and Algiers. In her 1976 ghost-written memoir, Past Forgetting, Kay claimed, "We were in love." He wanted a divorce, but Truman forbade it. Ike swore in 319 wartime letters to Mamie, "If anyone raises an eyebrow at an old duffer like me and drivers, know that I have no emotional ties and never will." Their son, John, published every single letter in 1976 to silence the rumors. Mamie publicly dismissed the whole thing as nonsense and insisted, "I never worried about anyone else in Ike's life." Yet her own letters hinted she was aware of Kay's presence. The scandal roared back to life in a 1970s TV drama and permanently damaged relations with the Trumans. Do you think she truly knew nothing, or simply chose to look the other way? How Mamie got petty revenge on Jacqueline Kennedy. December 9, 1960, just 16 days after Jackie's C-section delivery of John Jr. Mamie gave her a grueling 70-minute tour of all 30 White House rooms. Jackie arrived pale, in obvious pain, and alone. Mamie knew exactly how fragile she was but never mentioned the wheelchair Chief Usher J.B. West had hidden away. Too intimidated to ask, Jackie walked the entire route and collapsed the moment she got home. When questioned later, Mamie's icy reply was, "Because she never asked." In private, she sneered at Jackie as the college girl, mocking her Vassar education and youth, 31 versus Mamie's 64. The grudge ran deep. Class resentment, elite Boston Catholics versus Mamie's Midwestern roots. Political bitterness over Nixon's razor-thin 1960 loss, only 0.17% of the vote, and maybe plain jealousy of Jackie's glamour. Memoirs like Lillian Rogers Park's My 30 Years Backstairs at the White House paint the Eisenhowers as rigid and hierarchical. This passive-aggressive act perfectly embodied Mamie's military wife worldview, earned rank. The Kennedys were nothing but upstarts. They later co-chaired a 1963 Cultural Center fundraiser, but the tension never faded. Was it petty jealousy or just military discipline? Fake birth year and other personal secrets. Mamie publicly claimed she was born in 1900 instead of the actual 1896, shaving off 4 full years to fit the era's brutal beauty standards for women. Born in Boone, Iowa, to a wealthy meatpacking family with winter homes in San Antonio, she kept the lie going for decades. Her beloved sister Eleanor died at 17 in 1912 from appendicitis, a trauma that scarred 16-year-old Mamie with a lifelong terror of losing loved ones. Her whirlwind engagement to Ike after just 7 months of dating in 1915 shocked polite 1910s society. In the 1950s, she relied heavily on sleeping pills and tranquilizers to cope with her illnesses, completely normal for affluent women back then, but it cast a shadow over her perfect public image. 33 moves, a son's death, and a widow's loneliness. 53 years of marriage meant 33 different homes, from Fort Sam Houston barracks to the White House, surviving on Ike's $141 monthly Army pay, plus occasional help from her father. Raised with servants, she learned housekeeping from Ike himself and turned every grim posting into a welcoming Club Eisenhower social hub. Tragedy struck early. Firstborn son, Icky, died of scarlet fever on January 2, 1921, at age 3. Mamie nursed him alone for weeks, refusing to sleep or eat, holding him as he took his final breath. She locked herself in his room with his toys and cried for months. Ike grieved silently through work, creating a lasting crack in their marriage. John's birth in 1922 brought joy, but also overprotectiveness. She spoiled him into adulthood. During World War II, she volunteered incognito, poured coffee for Eleanor Roosevelt, and lost weight from sheer worry. In 1948, they finally bought their own Gettysburg farm, now a historic site. As First Lady, she decorated everything in Mamie pink, started White House Halloween decorations in 1958, and threw legendary staff parties. After Ike's 1969 death, after 11 months at his hospital bedside, she retreated to the farm as a near recluse. Every year, she drove to his grave. A 1979 stroke ended her life on November 1st at age 82. Her final words to granddaughter Mary Jean: "Tomorrow, I won't be here." The farm's bomb shelter stood as a Cold War monument to her private fears. Fashion icon, pink craze, and luxury scandals. Mamie revolutionized First Lady style, landing on the New York Dress Institute's Best Dressed list every single year. The Mamie look, full skirts, charm bracelets, pearls, tiny hats, and Panama cool bangs, launched nationwide trends. Mamie Pink took over clothes, housewares, even bathrooms and poodles. Her 1953 inaugural gown by Nettie Rosenstein, pink peau de soie embroidered with over 2,000 rhinestones, matching gloves, Trifari jewels, and a Judith Lieber bag, still lives in the Smithsonian. Yet she mixed luxury with bargain hunting, 27-cent jewelry from dime stores in 1956, crossing a Bonwit-Teller picket line. Columnist Drew Pearson accused her of violating the Railroad Act with free train rides to Elizabeth Arden's spa. She hoarded cosmetics, ignored thousands of fan letters begging her to change her bangs, and adored her bourbon-laced Mamie's $1 Million Fudge, while Ike was on a strict no-alcohol diet. The 1953 $1 Million bathroom remodel scandal branded her wasteful in the post-war years. Feminism's enemy. I have no idea what women want to be liberated from. In the 1970s, the height of second-wave feminism with Gloria Steinem, Betty Friedan, and equal pay marches, Mamie dropped her now infamous line: "I have no idea what women want to be liberated from." I was happy being a wife and mother. She called the title Miss, ugly, and opposed female Secret Service agents. Men should protect women, not the other way around. In 1972, she filmed a Nixon re-election ad praising traditional values. Ms. Magazine labeled her the symbol of 1950s oppression, yet she campaigned hard for friend Ellen Harris and insisted, "We women must have a voice." Love her or hate her, she was a walking contradiction, traitor to some, defender of family to others. Iron control over Ike's health and her own struggles. After Ike's September 24, 1955, heart attack at her mother's Denver home, Mamie lived at Walter Reed Hospital for 7 straight weeks, screening every visitor, enforcing diet rules, and canceling entire social seasons. She repeated the routine after his 1956 latest surgery and 1957 stroke, delegating events to Nixon. A smoker herself, before the heart risk links were common, she built Ike a relaxation room and, according to his doctor, prescribed a course of hugs. Her perfectionism, no footprints allowed on rugs, drove staff crazy, though she celebrated every birthday with homemade cake. In retirement, loneliness crushed her. She drove yearly to Ike's grave, supported Eisenhower College, and withdrew a retirement home application after line-jumping accusations in her final Barbara Walters interview.